Hi, my name is Don, and I'm an auto technician. Well, I mean, through the college of Nicolet College, I've taken a 2-year associate's course for auto technician. But anyway, I'm not, I don't currently do it as a job, but I've been working on my car all my life, and so, but I've made a little, or I was thinking about making a little video on air conditioning and refrigeration, for the PT Cruiser, the 2001 PT Cruiser. Because I was looking around and I seen a lot of videos. Eric, the car guy, he's got a really good one, but it's not specific to the PT Cruiser, because every car you work on is going to be different. So if you own a PT Cruiser, mine's a 2001. This is how to do it and what I went through to do it. There's a couple things where I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, but I managed to overcome a few things, and so I'll try to help you out if you got a PT Cruiser. But anyway, here's what I'm going to go through, I guess. All right, the first thing, what I had, I went to the Philippines. I left my car sitting out for 2 years, and I didn't think much of it. When I come back, it actually was stuck in the mud. I mean, frozen. Actually, I came back in the winter, and it took a long time to get it work, able to run again. I filled up the air conditioning, and the air conditioning did not work. And so I didn't know why, so I put in some, it worked for about a month and a half, but all of a sudden it just, didn't work any longer. Couldn't hold the refrigerant. So I got some leak, that super leak sealer, and then the dye, and then oil. I put that in again a second time, and it came out again, which I figured it would, but it was good for the summer. But I found out where the leak was, but that dye is pretty good. But what I did is I found it was leaking right by the compressor and O-ring, and this little gadget here thing I just made. This is like a I made this a while back, just a broken antenna, and then this is like a, for using your teeth, like that, a mirror for your teeth. I just taped it on there, and then I was able to look down, and the compressor it was leaking at the compressor, and it was splattered all over. Right down there you can see the compressor. Those it was leaking right at this crack right here. I got this down there, and I seen where it was leaking. Actually, you can see with the mirror the crack where it was leaking. I got in there and inspected it. This side was not leaking at all, but this side was, and there's the bolt you gotta take off to get it. It looks easy to do, but it's not all that easy to do. Actually, very difficult, because the one thing that was very difficult was my arm does not fit in this little tiny hole here, because see, with the engine and then there, my arm just does not fit. I cannot get my arm in there. It just, I've tried, and it just will not fit. See, you try to fit your arm in here, and it only goes in about halfway, and then that's it. And then it gets stuck, and I had all kinds of gashes on my arm. It was all red and blue. But what I done was I took a broom handle, and I took these boards. I got, it's what, a 2x6 and 2 half-inch pieces of plywood. And this little thing here, this may be 1/4 of an inch. Then I stuck those in there. I pushed the engine, and I stuck this in between the engine and the front. And then I held the engine back a little bit, gave me a little bit more room to work, and I was able to get in there and do it, but it's still very, very difficult, even with the engine moved just, you know, a little bit. And this is the thing which I got it with, and I'll tell you the size of the nut down there, if that's where your leak is. But it's a 10 millimeter. Yeah, 10 millimeter right there. So that's what the size it is down there. And I took this extension here with the little universal joint thing on there, and then I stuck it down there, and just, you know, you got it on there like this, and actually the bolt really came off, you know, pretty easily, which was, you know, kind of nice. But also another thing I'd like to mention that oh, there's my gauges. Right now I got a vacuum on it, and that the blue is the low side and the red's high side, and you put it on both the high, or the high and then the low, and then I got a vacuum pump. I didn't realize that. I don't know. I went to the class, but I missed the class. I wasn't able to attend. I read the book, but I didn't really physically do it. So actually, this is the first time I've done it. But I put the vacuum pump on it, and so now it does not leak. So I wanted to make sure that there are no leaks. So I've been letting it sit here for a half hour. Actually, it's been there for about an hour now. Hasn't moved at all. So I got my leak fixed. But oh, and there was another thing too. When I got it, when I finally was able to. Actually, my wife was able to stick her arm down there. She had a girlfriend or a wife. She could, you know, help with that. But that was pretty difficult. And then, but also another thing is trying to move that thing. Trying to pull it up. I was able to pull it up with my fingers, and it just comes up. And lo and behold, there was still pressure in it, which I was surprised, because I put these gauges on it, and it was 0. You know, it said 0 psi on the when I had the gauges, but there was still a little bit of pressure in there. So, you know, be very careful when you do that, because there's still good. I mean, that read 0 on the gauges. Can you imagine if the gauges read something and it was, boy, you would really be in a mess. I guess it can frostbite your eyes. But you know what happened to me is I was changing the dryer. I took the dryer out, and they say wear glasses when you're doing this type of work, because I guess it could give you frostbite with your eyes, you know, because the refrigerant. But then there's oil, and then there's dye in there, and then leak sealant. But anyway, I actually, it burst in my eye. I was, you know, I figured, you know, it's 0, and so I did it once already at the compressor, and I figured, well, okay, well, there's no pressure left in the system. I took the dryer off, and, you know, assuming like that it's going to be 0, because I already opened it up, but I took the dryer off, and there was still pressure in the system. I couldn't believe it, you know, and I got it in my eye, which I went to the hospital over there, but for like 6 hours, like it was like I'd wash my eye out with the soft soap and then dishwashing liquid, and I was able to you know, get it out, and they said I'd done good by getting the dishwashing liquid and cleaning the oil out of my eye, but they said you should not put dishwashing liquid in your eye. But at the time, that seemed my best option, so I went over to the doctor, because I was just seeing it was foggy. I could not see my eye very clearly on this one eye, and so then they just gave me some artificial tears, and they said it's all right. And I told them there was no refrigerant in there, which is good, because otherwise it would have frostbit your eyes. I guess it would be cold, you know, but there was oil. But I'm fine. Nothing happened to my eye. But they're serious when they say yes, you should wear safety glasses when you, especially when you're taking apart fittings. Because I didn't realize that there would still be pressure in there, maybe just a couple pounds or something. But maybe there's a little inaccuracy with the gauges. But right, and then so and then when you you can't pick that thing up. It's onto a hose, because I was trying to pick it up, and how do I get the O-ring off? And you know, I had this little thing here. I got that, and I am like, I couldn't even see it because you got to hold my. I can't even fit my arm in there. Yet alone get. You know, it needs two hands to hold the fitting, and then to try to get this off, and you can't see nothing because your arm's in the way. So I mean, it's really very difficult. And I was at that point, I thought maybe I would have to give up on it because there was no way. But I just thought and thought and thought, and I tried. So I pulled up. I went underneath. I went underneath here, and then there's a that line. God, I can't even do this. But this line right here is that hose line. It's right here. So what I did is I pushed it up as far as I could. I moved it up over this from my radiator hose, and I was able to get another couple of inches, you know, higher, which was good. And also, that's where your compressor is. Your compressor's right there. Then also I had to take my alternator off, which is right there. This is how you get at your alternator. You gotta take that panel off. You gotta take that panel off to oh, that one is underneath the car. It's really hard to do, but I mean, not that hard to do, but to get at your alternator, it seems like used to be it would be just right in front, but you got to take your tire off and all that. It's ridiculous just to get at your alternator. You got to do all that. So, but I just completely took my alternator off altogether. I could not get that dryer. I tried to get it out, but there's just no way that I would be able to get it out unless I took off my alternator, because there's just simply no room at all, period. And actually I didn't even screw it back in, you know, but I'll get to that in a minute. But alright, and then so what I done is I pulled that hose up a little, and I kind of wedged it, and I turned it. Hose, it was able to turn it just at a horizontal. It was sitting there like this, so I could. It was stuck between the fan and the engine. Right there, it was wedged up there. I got it to where it would wedge in there, and it was stuck like this, you know, the thing. So I could stick the little thing in here, this little hook tool, and then I could see it, and I pulled the O-ring off, you know, with this. You know, it's really hard to do because your arms don't fit in there. But I was able to do it. And then I said, hey, all right, hey, I got it. You know, if you have a wife, you know, she can stick their fingers in there, and, you know, for a girlfriend or whatever, that might work. But also I wanted to, now, as far as putting refrigerant in and stuff like that, so I don't forget, it's right up here. And I did the conversion. and a little piece of paper. It's takes 25 ounces, so it's 0.7087 kilograms equals 24.998 ounces. For those of you who live in the United States. But that's how much, so you get 25 ounces. I don't know the conversion. I looked it up on the computer, just on the internet. Just, you know, type it in. But I'm not going to go through of how to add refrigerant, because I'm not going to do it through the hose here, and I don't think I really have to, because they had a lot of videos on how to do that on YouTube. It's just that the specific car. But then okay, and also I replaced the dryer, because they say you're supposed to replace the dryer, and this is the dryer, and this was actually the most difficult thing in the whole job, was getting this dryer out, because I had to move the alternator, and this took most of the time. This is the old one. I put a new one in, but I left this. I did not put the bolt on the side here. I just let it hang in midair. You know, this that bolt that goes to the not to the engine, but to the frame of the car. I just left it hanging because it would bend it, and I figured maybe, you know, that's more it's going to put a lot of pressure on the pipes, and, you know, I might have a leak later on. Maybe it might crack, you know, because I would have to bend it, and you can see how this one is bent. I mean, the other one's straighter, but it's got to be bent to fit where it's got to go. So it was like about an inch off, or 3/4 of an inch off, and I just like, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna let it hang and just, you know, see what happens, because I don't see no point in putting a bunch of bending pressure on those pipes there. That I'm gonna have more problems down the road. Maybe I think it'll be all right. I hope it'll be all right, but and also this thing was very difficult, because they got this is the grommet, the rubber grommet. I'll have to explain how I got that off. But they have a torque tip on here. See that on this thing? It's a torque tip, and I do believe it's a number 30 torque tip. So I thought it was an Allen wrench at first, and I tried to stick an Allen wrench on there, and wouldn't fit, and so I went and bought some torque wrenches. But this will not fit. Even if you got I mean, it's stripped out. It started to strip out after a while, and it just wouldn't even work. You know, so this Chrysler, you know, as far as I've been working on this car for maybe about 4 years now, and they use some really, really cheap metal. And you can put, as a machinist, I took metallurgy, and they put lead in it to make it soft, you know, so it's easy machining, you know, so they can you know, make them faster, you know, so, and plus it's cheaper, you know, to make if it's out of cheaper material. But if they use some really decent heavy-duty metal, you know, that wouldn't have stripped out like that. But, and so anyway, I ended up buying some of these things. They look like Allen wrenches, but they're torque tips. See if they would be better, but that didn't really do much of anything. Pretty much useless. I mean, it really was. But and also, if you, I got a new bolt, but I didn't even put these in. But so it's 6mm by 30mm, 6 plain steel. I bought some of those to put in its place, but I left them out because it's not. But anyway, so what I ended up doing is that it was stripped out, so I couldn't even turn it. So I was between a rock and a hard place there. So what I done was I was thinking, why don't I get a pair of vice grips? So I bought these. These are Milwaukee. These this little thing here that really suck. This thing, maybe I should have just gotten a regular vice grip, but I had to use a small pair because a bigger pair would not fit in the location where the dryer is. I can probably show you. But you should replace your dryer every time. I mean, if it's left open, you know, like it hasn't been used in like a long time, you know, the air conditioning, and also you should use your air conditioner at least once a month, even in the winter. You know, at least once a month to keep everything, the seals, all nice and lubricated. But this one seal, this O-ring, and all you do is got to replace the O-ring, and they're very simple. And just getting the stuff out. But I looked at the O-ring, and it's rubbery on one side, and the other side is like dry and crispy, you know, and hard, you know, so it's definitely the O-ring. So I replaced it, and now it does not leak. There's still a vacuum, so it's probably been now almost like an hour and a half. There's still a vacuum. I'm gonna put some refrigerant in there, but the vice grip was still very, very, very difficult to get on there, even when I removed the alternator, and because this thing is, there's not much to grip onto. If you can see, that's what you got to grip onto. So how can you grip onto that? Kept on coming off on me, kept on coming off. So I thought a brilliant idea was, why don't I take the rubber, this rubber grommet, they had there was two washers together, like one on one side and rubber on the other side. And what I done was, I said, it took me about probably an hour, 2 hours, maybe more, maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours maybe. But what I done was, I took the rubber grommet, there was two of these, and I got rid of the rubber on one side to try to give myself a little bit more room to fit my vice grip. You see here? But then I noticed that too, that only gave me about this much room to get onto my vice grip. So taking off the rubber definitely did help me out there. It took me a couple hours, you know, to get it. I had to just, with the needle nose pliers, I just kept on picking at it like a bird, you know, would peck, 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 and then pull. And I tried, you know, pulling it with that O-ring, you know, with that O-ring thing that I was using. I don't know where it is now, but it's probably around here somewhere. I don't know. With that hook that I got the O-ring off on, oh, here it is. And so I was able to, you know, stick it in there and grab some of it because it's sharp. Then I ripped some of the rubber off with this also, which helped out a lot. And then so I was able to get a little bit more room to get my the vice grip on there. But once the vice grip was on there, it started to come up, but that thing was really tight, you know, coming off too also. So but anyway, that, if you ever have this, that was, I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. I thought I'd have to leave the dryer on. But I got the new dryer off. I mean, I got the new dryer on, and this is the old one. So, all right, and oh, too, and I asked the guy how much it would cost to fix the, you know, to fix the air conditioning. They said like $700, and I'm like, what, $700? So I bought this thing on eBay. I bought that, and then this thing is like about $120, $130 for the pump and the gauges. It's not too bad, but the gauges, one thing too. Eric, the car guy, he was like saying, you know, I put these on first I just finger tightened them before, these fittings here. But then Eric car guy goes, no, don't tighten them up with a wrench, or with the pair of pliers. I took my vice grips and, tried to hack them down, and I'm like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. So, but I looked on these and looked on the inside, and they just got like a little plastic thing. They're kind of cheap. They don't even have O-rings. But I think maybe I'm not sure because I didn't look at them from the beginning, but it looked like maybe I might have broke the plastic on there. But it still works. It's holding the suction, so it still works. So you don't have to tighten them down with a wrench, but I just kind of snugged them a little bit. You don't have to crank them down like I did the first time, which I wish I would have watched the video before, and I did, but I mean a couple weeks prior, but I did not. I didn't think that would be an issue until I cranked them down because I didn't want them to leak. But so I guess I'm pretty much covered everything that I think. And then these gauges that come up, they're quick disconnect fittings. I mean, that's pretty not that difficult to figure out. But then it takes 25 ounces of refrigerant, and so what I'm gonna do is I could go through the regular supply line, but I'm just going to do it like this. And what it is this little gauge. And then you got to know the temperature, which there is my temperature gauge, or my temperature, right there. So I know what the temperature is, and then you just look at the temperature here, and then you move this little dial, and then you make sure that when you press this, you're supposed to shake it, and then press this at the same time, and then shake it and flip it upside down, and to let it go in. That's what it says. And keep on shaking it while it's going in. Then just whatever the temperature is, just keep it at the center. At the center of the arrow there, and the temperature, and that's it. And it's not that difficult. But I'm going to take this with the low, and you put it in the low pressure side, not the high pressure side. But I'm going to take this gauge off. I could put it through the supply line, but I'm not going to do that. But make sure I'm going to shut up. I'm going to pull the low side off, and then I'm just going to put it in like this because I don't have a fitting. I don't have the proper fitting to go on through the supply line. Otherwise, I probably would, but I don't have it. So, and also just for the sake of it, to get the dryer off, I used a 6mm Allen wrench. To get there's where the O-rings are there. So, anyway, I don't think I could really add much more to this. And I hope you get your work done on your car and everything works out well. And but air conditioning is not so hard, but I'm not really good at it. But this is the first time I've actually really done it. But anyway, I read all about it. But air conditioning takes the heat out of the heat compartment, and that's how it cools by condensing and evaporating. So that's how it works. Oh, and then also I forgot the one little thing that I'm glad I remembered is this thing right here where there's a little. Yeah, I'm glad I mentioned this because the first time I tried to put my refrigerant in, the compressor wouldn't go on. So I'm like, what? So there's this thing. It's a little switch on top of. There's a pressure switch. I guess it's right on top of the dryer, and this goes onto it. But I was watching you. I'm like, how could I put my refrigerant in? It won't go in. My compressor won't turn on. And you can hear it turn on, but it's got to be on when you put the refrigerant in. So all you do is got to disconnect this here and then just jump it. Take a jumper wire. Take 2 wires and just jump it, and then your compressor will turn on. And then you'll be able to put the refrigerant in, and once there's refrigerant in there, it will continue to work, cycle on and off, as it should. But for when there's nothing in there, it's not going to turn on because, I suppose it's got to detect the refrigerant before the compressor will turn on. But you can hear the compressor turn on. You can even see it. It spins. You can see the top of it spin. If you can even take this off, or you can see it in the top, but you can definitely tell when it goes on and off. It spins, the front of it spins. You can see it there. It's like a little clutch on there, and then it spins. This light is hot. So anyway, this is Don, and hope I helped you out. If you got a 2001 PT Cruiser, those are the steps you got to do to replace your refrigerant and get your air conditioning working again. And actually, mine, it was working. It says in the book, I read the book, it should be 33 degrees. The temperature coming out. And it was really super cold when I first started using it. When it was working, it was like almost like freezing. But so it's definitely a good air conditioning system in this. So anyway, I'll catch you later, and hope it helped you out. Okay, later. Okay, bye.